Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know I skipped last week, but I have another video for you here. Things have been a little slow on my end because my tablet pen broke. So, and it was broken for at least 3 weeks. A couple of the videos you saw me put out were actually older videos that I had footage for, waiting in the wings. And then last week, I didn't quite run out of footage, but I did run out of time. So this week I have another video for you, and my tablet, I have a new tablet pen. It was an investment, because the only pen that works with my tablet is the grip pen, which is a more expensive pen, because my tablet is an older model, so a lot of the new pens, all of the new pens, do not work with it. They're not compatible. The only one that's compatible is one of their higher end models. And it's a higher end model because it's ergonomic, and it's compatible with almost all of their models, including ones that are no longer being produced. So, anyway, that is a little aside about that situation. What I have for you today, the actual meat of this video, is an older commission I did for Hedda Sophie on DeviantArt. I know Hedda, I like Hedda, Hedda's awesome, and I really enjoy doing this. It was a bit of a challenge, so she ordered a full body with one extra character, and she wanted a simple background. I think I went a little bit overboard on the simple background, as I almost always do. But we have a cool, regal-looking character. Now, she has a crow companion, and you'll see that I now have images of crow wings because I realized I'm only used to doing a very specific type of wing, and they're not crow wings. Each bird species has a different anatomy to their wings and a different placement of their feathers, because they all fly differently. Their locomotion is specific to their species or their grouping. So I think what I'm used to doing is actually raptor wings, so hawks and falcons, eagles. I think I'm used to doing a much more sleek or aerodynamic wing. Crows do not have that. They're still good flyers, and they still have some good aerodynamics, but yeah, so that was fun. It just shows that, you know, you need references. You can't always rely on what you previously know, because it might not fit with what you're trying to do now. I also had a lot of difficulty with the head, because the head of this is at a different angle than I'm used to. And the character reference I'm working from doesn't have ears, so I had to add in the ears. It just didn't look right, and by the end I still wasn't super pleased with it, but I felt better about it. You can see I'm trying to put basic shapes underneath basic forms, but I wasn't great at them, and I'm still not great at them. But that is the process of learning. Another aside while this is going on, I'm currently working on some studies of my own, some self-taught studies on the fundamentals of art. So things like form, line, color, shape, a lot of those are the same thing. Value, so lights, darks, shadows. I also have a couple of other things on my list. Anyways, fundamentals are an extremely important part of art, and I feel like a lot of self-taught artists kind of forget about them. At least I know I do. So instead of actually sitting down and learning what those things mean, we just learn a basic application of them. So we all know to use basic shapes when we're building up anatomy, but do we really know the process behind it? Do we know what the forms are? Do we know the best way to apply the forms from a student standpoint, I guess, technical standpoint? Do we know what the major fundamentals are? Do we know what the most important things are for us? A lot of times I don't think we do. Because, you know, if you don't go to the art school and you only take classes in maybe your public or private school, they might not focus on the fundamentals as a big part of it. They might say, like, yeah, you know, we'll do some fundamentals, but really they have you doing big projects because big projects are cool. Whereas if you went to an art school, you'd be doing a lot of practice that was just drawing bottles, drawing cans, drawing boxes, doing still lifes, doing value studies, color studies. You'd be getting a lot more application of some of the more mundane parts. So I've decided that because there's so many things I don't understand about the fundamentals of art and the finer details of art, I need to study as though I was at school learning. So I'm kind of teaching myself those. I'll probably be doing videos on them and directing you guys to resources and whatnot that you may need if you want to follow down a similar path. I don't really think I should publish any kind of lesson plan or anything. It's more just you guys are going to see me struggle, and hopefully it'll inspire you guys to go out and, I guess, struggle too. No, I'm hoping that you seeing me struggle and still go forward and still improve will inspire you to go down a similar path and want to improve through a more hands-on way, technical way, I guess. Something that, it's boring. You don't want to do it, but I'm there with you. Gonna jump in again here. I found that part of my style is I tend to jump ahead on the details. So in this line work, you can see me already putting in fur, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's just I feel like I'm doing that, and then when I go to do the details, I rely too much on that line work showing through, and I don't do proper values to show it in the way that I had initially wanted to. Me putting it down there is a good reminder, but I forget what it's supposed to remind me to do. So instead I just end up leaving it as a flat line instead of something that gives the illusion of a form there. It is very helpful in the wings though. I never forget to go back in the wings, and almost never forget to go back in the wings and put in the little smaller feathers. Mostly because it's something that I really like to do and something that I understand a little bit better. I don't understand fur nearly as much as I understand feathers. And that's not really saying much. I don't understand feathers the way I think I do. So, something I remembered later is that this character has 2 wings. Oh, actually, it looks like I remembered it right now. This character has 2 sets of wings, and in the initial sketch, I forgot the second set of wings. So, I managed to... I got panicked at first. I'm like, I have no place to put the second set of wings. And then I was like, you know what? It's just going to be hidden, mostly behind this other one, because it attaches near the other one. Which helped a little bit, or a lot rather, but then I had to go through and I had to erase all the stuff, all the time I put in on all of that, but at least it was a quick fix. I panicked for no reason, and a theme with all of my videos, I've noticed, don't be afraid to go back and fix and adjust things even after you've done that pristine line. Oops, seeing some other things. Even after you've done that pristine line work. It's not a bad thing to go back and adjust things, even in this color stage. There was a time where I had put all the colors down, all the markings down, and I was starting on some of the shading, and I was like, this still doesn't look right. I went and painted over the head and adjusted its entire position and some of its anatomy just to make it look better. And you know, it cost a little bit, it cost some time, and it was more effort, but I had made a mistake early on that I didn't want to leave there. So it's completely okay to do that, to recognize that you've made a mistake when you're already 5 steps away from when you made it and want to fix it. Don't be afraid to go back and adjust those things. It's just as important as doing it the first time, is being able to recognize if you didn't get it right at first and going back and fixing it. Just as important to do that and not be discouraged by the fact that you have to do that. If there's one way that I like to think about it, if there's one thing that always helps me, is the fact that I recognized that it needed to be fixed means that I have the skill to be able to fix it. This here I really loved. I loved doing this crow. I liked all the subtle variation I got in the feathers, and when I put the lighting and shading on, some of it kind of disappeared, but I had a lot of fun with it. I think when I was making this, my favorite piece, the part of this that I was the most proud of, was the crow, and the clouds, but I've gotten a lot better at fog and clouds, so I think it was the crow was my shining achievement. It's okay to feel like a small detail is the best part of a piece, because it's your own opinion about your own piece. Not everyone's going to think that. Some people might actually think that a larger area of the piece is the best part of it. But it's okay to focus on one detail and be like, I really like how that turned out. This here. This here is the reason why I remember liking the crow the best. This character gave me a lot of problems in the color gradients. I think I was just off my game when I finally got to doing this part of it. I just had too many reservations about it. I did the whole thing where I'm like, well, we start with the base colors and then we'll refine it, and then I skipped straight to the refining in my head and I didn't remember what came in between. Though I did like the way that the wings turned out, but then again, I almost always like the way my wings turn out. So I had a lot of setbacks with this, and I just felt not as happy about it as I should have. Looking back at it now, though, it's good. I like it. It was just one of those pieces where I let myself get too far into my own head about it, and I let my own frustrations get to me. I didn't find enough things about it that I liked. I didn't try to. It's important for me to find pieces of that I really like, that I'm really proud of, that I really enjoy how they're turning out, and focus on those, because when I'm in a better mood about at least a couple parts of a piece, it's easier for me to work through frustration. I've also found that interacting with people while I'm doing this is good. It helps me stay focused much longer and on task much longer. I've been streaming the past few days, and I've been sitting down and doing like a solid 4 to 5 hours of work each stream and enjoying every single minute of it. And if I get frustrated, being able to work through it very easily. It was a really nice feeling. So you can see me now just putting the finishing touches on things. I'm trying to get some dynamic lighting. I think it was less of a I want dynamic lighting because I want dynamic lighting, and more of a I want dynamic lighting because I'm sad about the way it looks. But in the end, the dynamic lighting did kind of help bring things out and make it a more put together piece. And I'm very happy with it. Which, I know that a lot of artists will look back at their work and be like, oh god, I remember how proud I was of that, now I hate it. I find that it's often the opposite for me, is, even with my really old work, I'll remember back then I was like, oh, this is awful, or, oh, this is great, and then a little while later I'd be like, oh, this is awful. And then looking back at that work now, I'm like, no, I really like that, I think it's great. Even if it's a piece of artwork from a very long time ago where I know that, like, my skills have improved a lot and it's objectively not a great piece of art. I look back at it and I remember that's where I used to be, and I remember that that's what I used to be able to do back then, and taking all that into account, it's still a really good piece for my skill level. And if I didn't start there, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I find that when I look back at pieces, I like them a lot better, because I appreciate them more. I appreciate them more as a stepping stone. And I find it easier to see the places where I went wrong, the places where I went right, when I'm not clouded by my own frustrations. I think this piece took a total of 3 hours, whereas the piece that I just finished took a total of like 15 hours. So I've taken a huge step in the amount of time I'm willing to put into things. Most likely because of the streaming thing, it keeps me focused longer. It keeps me in the zone longer. So I think I'll be seeing a lot of improvements simply from the amount of time that I'm able to and willing to put into these pieces. But yeah, just keep trying, guys. Keep going. Don't be discouraged. My usual message. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's pretty long. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.